And the high pony is in full effect today. Hey y'all, what's up? It's Caitlin and welcome back to my channel. Right off the bat, I want to mention the lighting real quick. One of my bulbs just went out as I started filming, so we only have my ring light and one of my other lights, so we're gonna make it work. In today's video, we are going to be doing a full first impressions on the very scandalous Wet n Wild 40 palette. So in case you don't follow news and scandals in the beauty community, about a month ago at BeautyCon, Wet n Wild premiered this 40 palette, which is a limited edition palette that was celebrating the 40th anniversary of Wet n Wild itself. This is the first large palette Wet n Wild has ever done, which is amazing, but the reason that this was such a scandal is because, so there was a viral photo going around, and I'll insert it here if I can find it. There was a viral photo going around of what the palette looked like, and a lot of people said it looked like James Charles palette. James Charles has a very, very popular and viral palette called the Artistry palette that is in collaboration with Morphe, and there was a lot of drama. There's a lot of drama circulating around this Wet n Wild palette that they pretty much full-on copied James Charles. So of course the minute that this released, I ordered it. Like I said, this was limited edition, meaning it was posted and once it sold out, it was gone forever. So I got my hands on it. It came in the mail. I have not opened it. I have not glanced at it. So this is what it looks like. And then on the back, they do have like a preview of what the palette looks like. And just from this picture alone, yeah, there are parts of it that remind me of James Charles, but I don't know. I'm going to wait to open it. So this is just like the unicorn that it comes in. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. The packaging is gorgeous, by the way. So you take it out and it has another black cardboard on it for, I guess, more protection. So taking it out, this is what the palette looks like, same as the carton. This is by far such beautiful packaging. I love the quality too. It's not flimsy cardboard. This is amazing. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and open it up. Okay. Huh. Okay, so there are parts on it that are definitely reminding me of the James Charles palette. So right off the bat, like this corner here, this yellow and green right here, the top right here. Now it doesn't have the big pans, but what I am noticing is I feel like in the middle they did, I'm not going to say copy, I'm going to say simulate, essentially the same thing. They did kind of simulate the shades that would originally be there in the big pots in the Morphe palette. So since this palette has had so much attention, here is my thought just on the whole situation in general. In my personal opinion, and this isn't like spilling tea, this isn't like blaming one for the other, this is my personal opinion. In my personal opinion, I think Wet n Wild saw how amazing the Artistry palette does in business. I think they saw how many units it gets sold, how many times it's sold out, how frequently it's bought. You know, I mean, behind the makeup, there's numbers. I think maybe Wet n Wild saw how amazing the Artistry palette did, and they decided to do their own spin on it. I know that when James Charles found out that this is what the palette was going to look like, he was very upset because he said he put a lot of hard work and effort into creating the colors and creating the palette in general. But at the same time, Wet n Wild didn't say this is the James Charles 2.0 palette. They did what business people do. They saw a product that was selling well and they decided to create their own. At the end of the day, I think they did a smart business decision. Now, do I think that it was totally right? No. But I think they made a smart business move, and that's really what they cared about. That's just my thought on the situation. Moving on, we are going to go into our first impressions of this palette. So right off the bat, it is beautiful. I will say, so there is a protective film on top, and I will say, I don't know if you can see that, I'm going to come a little closer, but like there's little crumbs of the eyeshadow scattered all throughout on the black. So right off the bat, the loose pigments like floating around is my only con so far, but I'm going to pull off this protective film. Okay, and there are no shade names on here. So taking the protective film off, we are now left with just the palette. And taking that protective film off, it actually made like the loose pigment around the palette worse. Like there's little stains, especially the pink. The pink is the worst, but that's just cosmetic. I mean, that's just the look of the palette. I'm not saying that that reflects on the quality of the makeup in general. So I'm going to set this in front of me. I am going to go ahead and pull out my e.l.f. eye tapes and I'm going to tape off my eyes. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my favorite NYX Eyeshadow Base and I'm going to apply this to my lids. So speaking of the makeup world, has anybody been watching the new Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson series? I just watched episode 2 last night and it is amazing. Just from watching this, you can tell how genuine Jeffree is towards Shane and how much he wants to support him. It's such a beautiful series. Oh my god, and then the intro. The intro music to this series is bomb. Okay, eyelids are primed, so we're going to get into the eyeshadows. So I think I'm really wanting to stick with some warm tones. My sister, when we did our video, she said she really wanted to see me do a warm tone look. So then I did one for my hits and misses video and she really liked it. So I think I'm going to try another one, but with a little boldness as well. So I think I'm going to be sticking with mostly this area, these reds and browns about right here. I think I'm going to start off with this orange right at the top. I wish these had shade names, but I guess that was too much work. So I'm going to take this orange right here at the top, and I'm actually going to take it with this Profusion brush I got in one of the eyeshadow palettes. So I'm going to dip into that. There's a little bit of fallout, not too much. Yeah, there is a little bit of fallout right there, but I'm not really going to judge unless it's like a ton. So I'm going to take that orange shade and I'm going to stamp this into the crease. All right, right off the bat, we have some beautiful pigment coming up, very vibrant. So I'm stamping this into the crease from inner to outer corner, and usually what I'll do is I'll have most of the product from my outer to about the third, and then going to the very inner corner is where I'll diffuse it to make it soft. Okay, so that color is really pretty. It is orange. I feel like it has like a dash of pink in it, but that's okay. I'm really sorry for the lighting again. I feel like it's looking really weird, but we're just gonna have to make it work. Okay, so the next color I think I'm gonna take is 2 colors down. It's below that red. It's like this really tan color. I'm gonna take that on a Real Techniques brush. This is the Real Techniques 305. It's a smaller, fluffy brush. So I'm gonna dip into that, and I'm gonna use this to blend out the outer edges of this orange. Okay, that is a really pretty color, especially with this orange. All right, yeah, this tan color is really, really pretty. And I feel like it blends out this orange so nicely. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I'm going to be taking a different Profusion brush, and I think I'm going to smoke out the outer V real quick. I'm actually going to mix this red and a touch of this purple right here, just to get it a little darker. All right, so mixing those two, I'm going to stamp that right on the outer V. Okay, that's not bad. Pretty much I just stamp and kind of, I want to say swipe, but small swipey motions, I guess you could say. So we're stamping this in the outer V to about the middle of the lid. So I zoomed y'all in because I felt like you couldn't really see anything, and the lighting is still really weird. So I'm really sorry about that. We're just gonna have to work with it. Mixing these 2 colors together, I feel like gives it the perfect amount of warmth without it being too warm. Ooh, I like that a lot. I'm going to go back in with the brush we used for the orange color. So I'm going to dip into that, and I'm going to just bring that back to life a little bit. Okay, so moving on, I'm trying to decide, I want to go in with a shimmer, but I'm trying to decide, do I want to do this orange right here, or do I want to do like this gold right here? This orange or this gold? I don't know. Let's see. Let me do the orange. That'd be really pretty, like for an all orange look. And then let me do the gold. Ooh, that gold doesn't swatch good at all. Yeah, I think I like the orange. Okay, we're gonna do the orange. I do want to point out what happened when I swatched that gold. Like, it went down and it went everywhere. So the gold's a tad messy. But I'm going to go in with that orange because I think it's really pretty. I'm going to grab a Japanesque 213. It's a flat brush. I'm going to dip into the orange, and it's like not coming up on my brush. Hold on. Like, I'm going in, and it's like barely anything's coming up. Hello? Okay, let me try to like rub it on there. Okay, that got something, but I literally had to like rub my brush in. Okay, I'm going to try using it dry first to see how that looks. It's pretty. It could be better, so I'm going to go ahead and rub again. Alright, I'm just going to take some setting spray. This is the Wet n Wild 3-in-1 Primer Waters. So I'm just going to spray my brush, and this like has nothing left in it. There we go. Okay, sprayed my brush, and yeah, spraying is always the way to go. So this pigment is really, really pretty, but I feel like it takes a lot of rubbing to get anything. And then when I get closer to the edge of that smoky color, I'm kind of like pushing that into the shimmer so we can blend. Okay, that's pretty. I just feel like it takes a lot of work. So there's one eye, and I really love that shade of orange, but like I said, it takes a lot of work just to get some payoff. I don't know if maybe they're too tightly packed. Could that be a problem? Doing the other eye. That looks like I didn't even spray my brush, and I did. Let me try a different setting spray. Okay, rubbing it again. This is like the third time for one eye. I'm gonna take this e.l.f. Soothing Aloe Mist because it's a harsher spray, so it'll get the brush a little more damp. I just don't know. I feel like the harder and the more I'm dipping into it, the harder it is to even work with. Because it's like, I feel like this eye looks great. This eye is just giving me all kinds of problems. All right, and then same thing, I'm just going to zhuzh that smoky color into the glitter so we can blend. Okay, so there are the eyes all done, and I definitely have some thoughts. I for sure have some thoughts. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go off camera and do the rest of my face because this video is solely on the palette, and I will come back and we're going to talk. We're going to talk about We're gonna talk. I'll be right back. And we are back. So this is the completed look using the Wet n Wild 40 palette. We have like a nice poppy, bright fall vibes. This is another way that I identify with fall. It's not vampy, it's not dark. There's some nice warm colors in there, but then also the pop of orange and the bright red lip. So let's go ahead and talk about the palette. So my first impression of this palette is the first color I went into, the orange shade. Let me pull it up for you. This orange shade was the first shade I went into, and the pigment was beautiful. I had a tiny bit of fallout, nothing crazy. Then I went into like that tan color, tiny bit of fallout, nothing crazy. The red and the purple I used to smoke out my outer V would have to be my favorite. Those were so pigmented. I think they blended beautifully together. The color that I was the least impressed with would have to be the orange shimmer that I used to put on my lid. This, I literally had to dig my brush in to get payoff, and even the payoff I got wasn't that great. It definitely took way longer than it does with any other shimmer from any other palette I typically use. It took way longer in this palette to get the payoff that I wanted. I'm going to have to play around with this palette a little bit more because as of right now, it's kind of like an in-between for me. I don't think the colors are like anything to be like wowed about. In my personal opinion, just from this experience right now, if you want a cheaper alternative to the James Charles palette, then yeah, this is a good palette for you. But don't expect amazing payoff. And I know that sounds mean, but like my experience with the shimmer was honestly kind of a poor one. I've never had to take that long just to put a little shimmer on my lid. If I had to rate this palette like a 1 out of 10, I would give it maybe a 5. I'm going to give it a healthy median just because I'm going to play around with it a little more and then I can figure out what my final thoughts on it are. But that is my first impressions on the new Wet n Wild 40 palette. I really hope you enjoyed it. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you on the next one. Bye guys.